Okay, so good morning, ma'am. Good morning, learners. So this time, I will be your presenter and I will be discussing vocabulary in language learning. So let's dwell on our objectives. So in today's discussion, learners are expected to define what is vocabulary, define what language learning is, understand the role of vocabulary in language learning, and lastly, to learn the importance of vocabulary in language learning. So let's have our introduction of our topic. So language plays an important role on every individual. This is the medium of communication around the world. It bridges people's understanding and gaps. In a nutshell, vocabulary is also playing a vital role in effective and well-spoken language. Its value is tantamount to language since it is the foundation to connect the ideas and thoughts of a person fluently. So, generally, vocabulary is the first basic important aspect for learning English by learners. By mastering vocabulary, they are able to communicate well both orally and written. Also, by having lots of vocabularies, the learners are expected to master the four skills in English, which is the reading, the writing, the listening, and the writing skills. Okay, next slide. Let's define what is vocabulary. So, according to Merriam-Webster, the vocabulary are the words that make up a language, words that are related to a particular subject. So when we say vocabulary, these are words that are being integrated to form or construct specific or appropriate phrases, sentences, or the language itself. Okay, next slide. So, according to Paris 2005, he identifies vocabulary as one of the unconstrained skills, meaning that it is a skill that we continue to develop over our lifespan. So, according to Paris, vocabulary is a spontaneous skill of a person that really requires continuous development so that we can achieve that so-called fluency. And of course, an effective speaking, reading, and writing skill. Furthermore, according to Hornby 2006, vocabulary are all the words that a person knows or uses, and it is all the word in a particular language. So, for Hornby, it was closely related with the idea of Paris. For him, vocabulary are words that make the language transparent and understandable. Moreover, according to Hatch and Brown 1995, vocabulary are a list or set of words for a particular language or a list or set of words that individuals or individual speakers of language might use. So, moreover, according to Hatch and Brown, they summarizes what the two authors has stated a while back. So, generally, vocabulary is the basic language aspect that must be mastered because it is the key for understanding and the foundation for the four major skills such as the reading, writing, listening, and speaking skill. So next slide. Let's define what language learning is. So language learning is the teaching about a language, its use, its speaker, its structure, with the hope that the student will be able to learn enough to actually speak the targeted language. So when we say language learning, this is the ability to learn the language itself and to use it effectively in a communication. So language learning, according to Lankua, is broadly defined as developing the ability to communicate in the second or foreign language. So according to Lankua website, language learning is the capability of a person to improve his or her communication skill using the second language. So this time, let's go deeper on the roles of vocabulary on language learning. So learners can express themselves better. So if the learner knows a lot of words in his brain or in his vocabulary, then of course he can definitely be able to state his idea without any doubts or hesitation. So next, Knowing more words allows a learner to choose their words more precisely and so become more effective and accurate when communicating with others. So if the learners are full of vocabularies, the way he delivers his thoughts, his words, are not being repeated on his statements, and it is more pleasant. And instead of using common words, he has the ability to use other terms because he might understand what the word he is or what the word is all about. Okay, next slide. It empowers learners academically. So if the learner is crossed with several words, of course the learners can boost their confidence and interest to learn and increase their academic grades. Also, they can earn trust to recite on their discussions or on their subjects because they believe on their skills that they may deliver their thoughts fluently. Okay, next. Vocabulary learning is an essential part in foreign language learning. You know the trending in Facebook, the essential? It's like this. It's like on my discussion, this is so very essential. The meaning of new words are very often emphasized, whether in books or in the classrooms. It is also central to language teaching and it's important, it's tantamount to language learning. Okay, next. Let's have a deeper understanding on the importance of vocabulary in language learning. So first, vocabulary is the basis for learning language. Educational research shows that vocabulary strongly relates to reading comprehension, intelligence, and general ability. So according to Rivers as cited in Nunuan 1991, vocabulary is essential, again, essential for successful second language use because without an extensive vocabulary, the learners will be unable to use the structures and its functions we may have learned comprehensible comprehension. So, as children learn to read, they must learn to decode, sound out, or print, but they also must have a vocabulary base or word knowledge in order to make sense of what they decode. So, generally, vocabulary really plays a vital and pivotal role on the speaking, reading, writing, and listening process because without it, you cannot decode what they are saying or you cannot connect your ideas correctly and appropriately. Okay, next. Knowing vocabulary words is the key to reading comprehension. The more words a child knows, the better he or she will understand the text. So, using a variety of teaching methods will increase the student's ability to learn new words. Okay. As children learn to read more advanced texts, they must learn the meaning of new words that are not part of their oral vocabulary. So, readers cannot understand what they are reading without knowing what most of the words mean. Okay, let's have the next slide. So this time I will be discussing about the tips to help you start learning new vocabulary words. So, develop a reading habit. So if you want to develop your vocabulary skill, you have to have a reading habit. So you have to set a schedule wherein you have reading times for books, magazines, journals, like that. Use the dictionary and thesaurus. You know, in my cell phone, I installed two apps, which is the Merriam-Webster and the Filipino English Dictionary, wherein every time I hear new words, I always search it on my application on my cell phone so that whenever I hear them again, I will get a point of what they are telling about. So next, play word games such as the 4 picks, 1 words. Use flashcards. Subscribe to Word of the Day feeds. You know the two apps that I mentioned a while back. They have flashing every day. They have they are flashing Word of the Day, which is, I believe, it's very beneficial and very helpful for me because every time they flash words and I am learning a lot from it and I am applying it in my daily living. Use mnemonics. Practice using new words in conversation. So when you talk to someone else, you should try your best to integrate new words so that you can increase your ability, your capability in speaking the language. So next, benefits of learning vocabulary. So when vocabulary items are taught before an activity, the students may be benefited with two ways. First, it helps them to comprehend the activity better. So if the instructions are well explained, especially the unfamiliar words are translated to known words or common words, then of course it was expected that the students or learners can understand the activities quickly and can construct their answers in a clearer and better expression. Second, it is more likely that they acquire the targeted vocabulary words. So for example, if the words in the modules or activities are well explained, then it will sink on their brains or on their vocabularies. Then and after that, they will apply it in their real life, especially the four major skills. So I hope learners, ma'am, you learned a lot from my discussion. So with not so much ado, let's call out a day. Again, I am Kim Walter Lampa, your presenter of the day.